Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's my opponent to go first. I have a balanced rack, but I do not have a 7-letter bingo. I should, however, be able to resolve this. Even a short word like bug or gub, leaving loop, would leave a reasonable rack leave. There's a number of words available from this rack. Now, 22 for my opponent. He's opened up a double-double lane in row E. Can't see a way of getting a double-double. So I think either I play to reach one of the doubles in row E, or I play parallel to KO, which means playing to its right since K takes nothing in front. I've got the O for going after the K. Well, I'm not seeing anything great there. My B can go to the left of the Y. But I would like to get rid of the U as well. Well, this is a slightly more tricky rack than I was expecting. Now, what I could do is play down here. Well, that's not going to work. Pueblo is good. Can't see a way of playing that to good effect. Well, this is proving problematic. Now, what about Booge? Sometimes you can feel rushed at the beginning, but it's important to try and get the move right. I think this is better than anything I've considered so far, and the score is reasonable. Takes an S and a T. That's not a good pickup. I do have the Z for score, but the high-scoring tiles benefit from having vowels. So the E of Booge is available at the moment, so I could play Wizen through that. But I don't have anything for going after AB or in front of K, because K takes nothing in front of it, so columns 7 and 10 are currently denied to me. But if my opponent plays lower down the board, he will be generating further options. I have WINN on my rack, which doesn't currently play for very much. I could play a plink in row E, which sorts out the duplicate tiles. Retaining the Z is not a problem since this rack is so unbingo-y. If I do play plink in row E, I need to remember that it takes a U in front. Well, my Wizen spot has been taken. I don't have anything which goes after thumb. I could play in column 11. My P or N goes after the U. But I can only play 3 tiles, and when a rack has this shape, 6 consonants, 1 vowel, I think it's important to play off 4 tiles rather than 3. So 22 points for plink. Well, still a vowel shortage, but 1 vowel is better than none. And this is a more manageable rack than the last one. I have no duplicate tiles. And I should be able to play off 4 tiles fairly easily, whereas last go, plink was the only possibility I saw. Now what I could do is play whiz in column 6, playing off just 2 tiles, but that's not a problem since I am retaining a vowel. In fact, whiz would be getting rid of precisely my non-bingo-y tiles. My T can go after EF in column 11. So I could play trod, keeping WNZ. So I want to play off 4 tiles if I'm playing off my vowel. £24 points for trod. Great, the whiz spot remains available. Just checking to see if my opponent's provided me any opportunities. My T still goes after def. So trod is still playable, but I think whiz is a better play, a much higher score, and I'm keeping a vowel. 35 points. Ah, that's much better. I have tornade. And that does play in row M, making diva and fume. Do I have an alternative bingo? Tornade has no anagrams. Do I have anything through the P of plink? Not sure about patroned. Pronated. Yes, I am sure about that. Okay, well hopefully one of those options will still play. Pronated gets doubled for 70. Tornade doesn't get doubled, but the lesser values in dev and thumb are so high that it will score more than pronated. I'm just wondering if pronated has an anagram. Nice play by my opponent, a double-double for 106 points. Fortunately, my tornade spot remains available. Just checking to see if my opponent has provided a new spot, and he hasn't. My opponent has played one of the blanks. So tornade 78. And that's quite a nice rack. Not sure if I've got a bingo. I would have snivelled through an E, but I have no duplicates and it's balanced, so I should be able to play through it. Do I have anything through the O of tornade? Don't think so. And I'm just looking around to see if there are any E's for snivelled. Can't see any. Through an A, I would have and vials. Through a G, I would have devlings. Do I have anything through the P? No. And my opponent's provided no new floaters. He's now got a 60-point lead, so I need to keep the board open. And I want to get rid of my V. Just checking in case I've got anything through the double letters in columns 4, 5 and 6 at the bottom. That's ET, BO or ER. Can't see anything. Well, ER isn't available. So where can I play my V? Well, one thing I can do is devil across here. I've got the S, and devil only takes an S. So although my opponent's got first shot at the triple word square on the right, my S means that this is a good opening to make. And 41 points is a great score. Not great. I'm 4 points behind at the moment. But that is not good. Through an E, I would have gongster. No E's available. I note that my O can go in front of BO in row K. So I could play go. But that's keeping 5 vowels. A play of gong or grog would leave a much better rack leave. I'm struggling to see where I can play that. Well, nice bingo by my opponent. And he's provided no floaters for me. 14 minutes left. Where can I play off these G's? I'm looking above Hebe to see if I can play there. ER does take a G after it. So I could play Nog, Net, Oboe and Ger. But it would be much better to play off both Gs, especially as I am 100 points behind. Defo takes a G after it, but I haven't got an I for going after un. I could play Grig in column 13 through the I of devil. The trouble with that is the score. Only 12 points. My G can go after ER in row N. But again, the best I can do is something like GO, and I certainly need to play off at least 3 tiles and preferably 4. "12 minutes left. Well, what about thong? It's not playing off both Gs, but it's a decent score, and I'm opening up a new bingo lane in column 1. That doesn't feel great. But it's certainly better than playing Nog in row K. So I am playing off 4 tiles rather than 3. And it's better than Grig, because the score is so much better. So I'm not convinced this is the best, but I think it's the best I can see. Pretty awful. I'm a bingo behind, so I'm really looking to bingo, and this is a long way from a bingo. I do have cat, which can play in row M, making chi and al for about 40 points. And I can also play cat in column 12, making far and et. My priority is to play the q before the x. So I'm looking around for other spots for my q. I'm hoping that my thong play will distract my opponent to the left-hand side of the board, leaving my cat play available in row M. But he may be concerned about the devil's hook. I'm looking around in case there's anywhere amazing for my x, but I haven't seen anything. My opponent's got 12 minutes left. I've got 11, 31 tiles in the bag. Diva takes an L after it, and possibly double L as well. I could play cat in row K, making R and F and tet, but the score's going to be poor. 36 points for my opponent. Well, a good score for him. And fortunately for me, cat remains available down here. Horrible rack lead, but 48 points is a good score. Now I'm looking to play off my x. Still nowhere great for that. Grex is good, but there are no E's in good spots. Cat has blocked the devil's hook, but the priority was playing off the q for a good score. So this board isn't looking great for bingo lanes. But row B, beginning above the end of Horser, is a good lane. But I'd need to begin right above the R in order to get that doubled. I'm 50 points behind, but my opponent is on turn. Now I do have the GI combination for making defog and uni. And I mention that because defog, partly because defog takes an S, so I'd be opening up a new bingo lane in column 13. 36 points for my opponent, and he's taken out a bingo lane. So he's in a strong position. So this is what I was thinking of. Git for 21. Pretty horrible rack leave. It would be, well, just nice to have a much more bingo-y rack leave given my position. And it would also be nice to play off 4 tiles rather than 3, given that I'm keeping only consonants. So can I do better than this? 10 minutes left. Well, I could play grits in column 12, making eft and a buys. 28 points. I'm inclined to do this. That 4 consonant rack leave just didn't look good. This is a better rack leave. 28 points. Well, I do have the 2 L's for making deval. 30 points. So that might be worth considering. I'm 62 points behind, 18 tiles in the bag. Usually the X is a nice tile with several options to score 30 or 40 points, but it's just not delivering on this board. I'm tempted to play Deval because it's a big score for only a couple of points and the rack leave's quite good. I don't think untaxes is good. It does actually play in column 14. I think, well, is it good? I think untaxed is good. But untaxes just doesn't look quite right. A big decision not to play it if it is good, because it does play in column 14. But if I could get a 40-point X play, then that would mean that a missed bingo is less of a problem. Now I'm agonizing about untaxes because untax sounds reasonable. Tricky decision. I notice in column 1 that my U or A can go after J-O, so if I had a 5 or 6 letter play, beginning J-O-U or J-O-A, that could play. Nice bingo by my opponent. And there goes the second blank. And also there go my winning prospects. And he's also taken the spot where I could have played untaxes. Well, since I'm 120 points behind, I don't see any point in taking score sacrifices to try and bingo. 45 points for Sachs. The rack leave of ANTU is good. I'm leaving one tile in the bag. Well, I think I'll play off Sachs, given that there are four A's left. And in any event, an E is a better tile than an A. A lot of vowels, finally. Do I have anything through the L of Deval? Don't think so. And I've got no scoring tiles. Do I have anything in column 1 beginning J-O? Can't see anything. Just wondering if I have anything through E-T in column 4. Can't see anything there. So not a great rack. But I think this game is well and truly lost. So that's not too much of a problem. I can see what my opponent's got at the bottom of the screen. He's got 7 of those 8 tiles. I can also play through the A and P in column 4. So I could play 2. 20 points for my opponent. And that C prevents me from playing in row O to good effect. Akai takes nothing in front. I can see what my opponent's got. He's got pair on his rack, or aper. That can play in row B above horser. Does he have a second now? Well, he's got paper in column 4, so he is going out. So, what's the best I can do with this rack? 7 minutes left, so no time trouble. Defo only takes a G after it. Taupe was what I saw in column 4. 14 points, so that's what I need to beat. Boy takes nothing in front of it. I'm looking at the bottom left of the screen. I don't have an H for going after the C's in the bottom left and the top right. Nothing goes in front of DI. I'm looking in the middle right. Well, I suspect this is not the best I can do. Taupe 14. My opponent has got a choice of outs. And reap for 16, so pass to end the game. And the final score is 390 to me, 502 to my opponent, a winning margin of 112 points. So well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go fast. This was his rack, and he played KO. And this was my rack, and I struggled with this. I played Booge in the end. And as you can see down the score column, nothing beyond the mid-20s, and a lot of these rack leaves just don't look good. Certainly keeping G and U is pretty unappetizing. So I think Booge is okay for 23 points. Its score is similar to what's on offer here, and the rack leave is better than most. Fun for my opponent. This was my rack. I played Plink for 22. I could have got 32 for Unzip across here, opening up column 15 and retaining the W. So 10-point difference. Probably not a huge amount between those, because if I played Unzip, it's not so much opening up column 15 as placing the Z immediately above this double word square. So I think I prefer Plink. My opponent's rack, he played Dev. This was my rack. I played Wiz, and I think that is best. My opponent's rack, this is where he had Fermion. Fantastic bingo, 106 points for a double-double. I was able to come back with Tornade, and it looks like Pronated didn't have an anagram, but in any event, Tornade was the better play. My opponent's rack, he played Hebe, and this was my rack, and I played Devil, and that looks fine. My opponent's rack, he's got Horser, which was the only bingo, and he did well to find that. And I was in a bad position here. I was 90 points behind with a poor rack, but not poor enough to change. And I played Thong for 26. I'm just wondering about playing Throng for 2 more points, but the R is a good tile, so probably not much between those two. My opponent's rack, not great, but he has a big lead at this stage. Now, this was probably the beginning of the end for me. I was 100 points behind, and I needed a good pickup after Thong, and I didn't get that. Cat for 48 looks good, but the rack leave is unbingo-y. And I'm taking out the best bingo lane. My opponent's rack, he played Joe, and this was my rack. Now, Jaws across here, that's interesting, I didn't think of that. I played Grits for 28. Yeah, I think there's probably not very much between those plays. Horrible rack for my opponent. But Nitwick was a great spot to sort it out. Let's just go back and look at that. That is pretty awful. And he found a play which used 2 of the 3 I's and the W, so great play by my opponent. This is my rack, and I played Deval for 30. And I could have got 10 or 15 more points, but with significantly inferior rack leaves. Nice rack for my opponent. He had a choice of bingos. A4, wow, he had diasporic through A and P, but he played Cirsoid for 66. And that's probably good because it's taking out the best bingo lane. This was my rack, and Sax for 45 looks best, certainly no bingos. My opponent's rack, he played Akai, and finally, I struggled to find anything. Oh well, Topi would certainly have been better than Taupe, but there was nothing scoring more than 20 points. And finally, what could my opponent have done? Reap was the best. So a good game of Scrabble there. Lots of interesting racks to consider. I didn't win, but you frequently do lose when you're playing Scrabble. And the important thing is to make the winningest plays on each move. And I hope my description of my thought processes as I was going through that game demonstrated that that was what I was trying to do. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game and got something out of it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.